My husband got distant during my pregnancy, so I dug for answers. Turns out, my own sister had been luring him. When I confronted them, she confessed, "I just wanted what you have." Now, I've cut her off financially. I'm a 34-year-old female and a new mom to a 2-month-old baby girl. Motherhood has changed a lot for me, but the most evident change is in my marriage. I've been married for over 2 years now. My husband and I shared a very healthy relationship, but with pregnancy kicking in, I feel we have grown apart. You see, I got pregnant right after our first anniversary. It wasn't planned, but I was happy to see those 2 lines because I thought it was the perfect time to have a baby. We had our own house, Paul and I were earning well. There were some responsibilities, like Paul saving to buy a home for his parents, and I was saving to start something of our own, but responsibilities would always be there, one thing or another. So, I considered my pregnancy just on point. However, my husband Paul, a 37-year-old male, didn't seem very excited about the news. When I asked him if he was not happy about being a father, he said he was happy, just surprised by the sudden news. Throughout my pregnancy, I got quite mixed signals from him. Some days, he was so loving and caring and wouldn't let me move a glass, and on other days, he looked disinterested and wouldn't even check on me. I had a difficult pregnancy with severe nausea, headaches, indigestion, symptoms, you name it. I had it during those 40 weeks. I won't say Paul was rude or evil to me, but I felt he was not as involved as he should have been. For example, I used to visit my gynecologist alone until my 5th month. He joined me after I fought with him, accusing him of being careless. He said that I never asked him to join me. Does this need to be asked? I've always been an independent woman and never relied on Paul for anything. I'm a go-getter, and whenever I used to fight with him about being careless, he was like, "You always take care of your stuff by yourself. If you needed me, why don't you ask me?" It was bothering me. I spoke to some of my friends, and they suggested that I stop having expectations after seeing those cute couple reels on social media. They were right. I was seeing a lot of those cute pregnant couple videos of how husbands pamper their pregnant wives to the core. Those were raising my expectations. I tried my best to do whatever I could to minimize my mood swings. The pregnancy period ended somehow, and I'm blessed with an angel baby girl. I thought Paul would be girl. I thought Paul would become an involved father after seeing our daughter. He was happy with the baby and spent time with her, but he was cold towards me. I mean, I dealt with painful labor and postpartum depression. I'm still suffering from that depression, but Paul doesn't care. He says he cares, but his actions don't show that. I don't see any effort coming from him. Even now, I'm facing the same issue. Whenever I complain to him or fight with him, he says that I'm playing the victim and unnecessarily blowing up the whole situation. I don't think I'm doing any of that. I tried having multiple confrontations with him, but he just doesn't acknowledge that there is a problem. This anxiety is killing me. Everyone thinks that it is my mood swings and postpartum, but how do I make them understand that the problem is beyond my mood swings? Has anyone faced something similar, or is it really just my mood swings as everyone says? First of all, congratulations, Up. Motherhood is a roller coaster of emotions, and it sounds like you've been through a lot. It's not uncommon for major life changes like a baby to bring about shifts in relationships. It's crucial for Paul to recognize the emotional toll this is taking on you and for both of you to work together in finding a solution. You deserve understanding, empathy, and support during this transformative time. Update 1. Thanks for all the virtual hugs, you sweet people. Addressing the most common comment on my post, "Is my husband cheating on me?" Trust me, that's the first thing that comes to anyone's mind when your husband behaves in a cold manner, especially during pregnancy. This was my first thought when Paul behaved weirdly with me. In my case, my doctor had strictly advised me against having sex during pregnancy because of certain complications. Initially, I thought that was the reason why Paul was aloof. I confronted him 100 times if this was the reason he was upset, and he said no, it didn't matter, and it was a small thing that we were doing to have a healthy pregnancy. In fact, whenever I used to be upset that my doctor had forbidden us from having sex while I saw other women enjoying their high libido during pregnancy, Paul used to talk me through it, saying it was a matter of just a few months. You see how confusing his behavior was? Now when I look back, I'm just amazed at how he was able to pull his act together. He acted so concerned and thoughtful all this while when, in reality, he was cheating on me behind my back. Yes, you guys were right, my gut was right. Lately, I found Paul texting someone late into the night. I got suspicious because he acted secretive, like always guarding his phone, keeping it in silent mode, and deliberately keeping the screen upside down when I was around. I wouldn't have noticed these things if I hadn't found him up until 3 a.m. on a Friday night. We both went to sleep at our usual time, but my daughter woke up around 2:30 a.m. I fed her and put her back to sleep, but she was creating such a fuss about sleeping in her crib, so I tucked her in my arms and lay down on my bed. I'm guessing Paul didn't realize that I was still up. He slowly pulled his phone from under his pillow and was texting someone. He was facing the other side, and the phone screen was facing toward me. I thought about taking a peek at his screen to see whom he was texting, but just then, my baby woke up, and Paul hurriedly put the phone back under his blanket and pretended to sleep. That was the moment I realized that no matter what he said, he was definitely up to something. I didn't want to have any confrontation with him without any evidence. We've had multiple conversations before, and he never acknowledged that our marriage was a sham. A mere confrontation would lead to nothing. For the next few days, I tried to catch hold of his phone, but he used to keep it so guarded that it was just not possible for me to even touch it. He used to carry his phone to the washroom. This wasn't a new thing, though. He always used to do it, saying he watched the news while in there and played songs in the shower, so checking his phone was not a viable option for me at all. Also, I didn't know his password. I went for the next best option, email. We have a common PC at home, but it was mostly used by Paul. When he wasn't home, I crept into the PC. As expected, he was logged in through his email ID. His email had details of all sorts of activities he was up to, shopping details which he was showering on his mistress, fancy restaurant bills, hotel check-in details, and everything. I got everything but could not find the details of his affair partner. Even the hotel bookings were done in Paul's name alone. I even tried to call the hotel to get details of the extra guest, but it didn't work. I really don't know how to get into the details of it. I'm so exhausted with this information, but I also don't want him to have any easy escape. I need solid evidence of his cheating. With a baby and tons of responsibilities, all this is just so overwhelming. I can't help but break down every now and then.